Hello, students. This section covers the topic of switching operation for power line de-energization. Based on a thorough understanding of the principles of switching procedures for power line de-energization and the rules for filling out operation tickets, you should be able to comprehend switching tasks for de-energization, draft accurate operation tickets according to the task, and perform simulated switching operations on the MIMIC board in accordance with standards. Through task interpretation, operation ticket drafting, and MIMIC board operation, develop a sense of standardization, a spirit of dedication to your job, and strong teamwork skills. The key and difficult points of this section are: to accurately complete the operation task according to the switching procedures, fill out the correct operation ticket, and perform the MIMIC board operation in accordance with standards. The power line de-energization switch task is to energize the imitated 2 line supplying power to the number 2 110 kV busbar via the number 2 main transformer and the number 135 kV busbar to the imitated F line. Switching to de-energization operation. Based on the task, complete the operation ticket. After the supervisor checks and confirms the operation ticket is correct, proceed to the MIMIC board for operation. Command received. Operation command received. Open the circuit breaker QF36. Open the circuit breaker QF36. Execute. Confirm that the circuit breaker QF36 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS366. Open the disconnector QS366. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS366 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS361. Open the disconnector QS361. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS361 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the circuit breaker QF32. Open the circuit breaker QF32. Execute. Confirm that the circuit breaker QF32 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS321. Open the disconnector QS321. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS321 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS326. Open the disconnector QS326. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS326 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS319. Open the disconnector QS319. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS319 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the circuit breaker QF102. Open the circuit breaker QF102. Execute. Confirm that the circuit breaker QF102 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the grounding switches QS1020 and QS302. Open the grounding switches QS1020 and QS302. Execute. Confirm that the grounding switches QS1020 and QS302 are in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS1026. Open the disconnector QS1026. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS1026 is in the open position. Confirm. Open the disconnector QS1021. Open the disconnector QS1021. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS1021 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the circuit breaker QF112. Open the circuit breaker QF112. Execute. Confirm that the circuit breaker QF112 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS129. Open the disconnector QS129. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS129 is in open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS1121. Open the disconnector QS1121. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS1121 is in the open position. Confirmed. Open the disconnector QS1126. Open the disconnector QS1126. Execute. Confirm that the disconnector QS1126 is in the open position. Confirmed. Operation completed. Operation completed. To help students better master line de-energization switching operations, students are required to use their spare time to complete the following operation task. De-energize the
imitated one line,
supplying power via the number 110 kV bus bar and number 1 main transformer to the number 135 kV bus bar. This section ends here. Goodbye, students.